Welcome back to this week's edition of the Cart Barn Podcast. Chris Limley and Greg DeWalt, we thank you so much for joining us. Greg, a lot going on in the world of golf this past weekend. The PGA and, of course, in the state of Alabama had the senior championship.
Yeah, Aronimik put on a great show for the second major of the year at the PGA Championship. Aaron Rai was a machine on Sunday. Just, you know, when it looked like there was going to be about 10 people in the mix, he just ran away from them on the back nine. And what an impressive display. And then, lost in the shuffle was Paul McClure of Magnolia Grove down at the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail site in Mobile made his PGA Championship debut.
Former
First time
UNA
in a
golfer.
major. Former UNA golfer, carrying on the proud tradition of us alumni from
Yeah.
UNA. He missed the cut, but man, what a great experience to go up there and play 2 rounds on that course.
Yeah, maybe we can get Paul on here very soon and let him share the experience of playing in a PGA championship with the listeners and tell us some stories.
I guarantee he's probably not played a harder golf course than Aronimik. Maybe some that was equally hard, but not
Yeah,
any harder than that, because that looked like a great test. But
sure did.
you were down at the senior. You still like to tee it up in those events that you can compete in. So how did it go down at the Country Club of Mobile, and what was that like?
Well, as you know, I've not been playing or practicing a lot of different things going on. I went down there because I do enjoy competing, but more than that, it's the camaraderie that you get with getting to see all these guys, people that you've been playing with and against for 40 and 50 years. And the Country Club of Mobile has always been one of my favorite places to play in the state, and this one did not disappoint. For those that don't know, it's a Donald Ross design that's been redone a few years ago by Jerry Pate, and gosh, did a phenomenal job in my opinion. The greens are the defense, and you cannot miss it. When they've got pins in certain places, you cannot miss your number and your spot by much, or your X. Um, but gosh, the members at the Country Club of Mobile should be very proud of the facility that they've got, and the Alabama Golf Association did a phenomenal job as always. Um, in the senior division, Hames Snedeker, and yes, if that name sounds familiar, his brother is Brent Snedeker on the PGA Tour, who recently won. But Hames won the senior division, followed by a good friend of mine, Robbie Cotton, and Joe Fortner out of Birmingham had a really great tournament. So that's 1, 2, 3 in the senior division. In the super senior, Robert Nelson ran away with it. I think this is the first time that he's teed it up in the super senior division, and I think he was 7 or 8 under par. Dusty Ellison and Buddy Alexander tied for second, and I think by the way they do the playoff, Dusty finished second and Buddy finished third. And if that name sounds familiar, that's the same Buddy Alexander who is a former U.S. amateur champion. I think he won at Shoal Creek. But had a great time. Got to see some guys, the usual suspects: Shaw, Jeff, Woody Eubanks. I think this was his first senior event. I'm not sure. But anyway, it was a great time, and again the golf course is just really good.
Robert Nelson is a machine, man. I think his bad rounds are like 68. I don't think he ever
Well, he
ever
was
shoots
in
over
the
par.
60s all 3 rounds, so he was definitely golfing his ball.
Yeah, he's a great player, and he's played in some senior opens and senior AMs. So
Sure.
congratulations to those guys. Hames, he didn't get the best of Brant by winning, but he showed little brother that he's still got some game as a senior. Anyways, moving on. This week we got Gene Hallman, friend of the podcast, back again, from the Regions Tradition range, which we're always so happy and blessed for him to let us come back on the range and do some stuff down there. He gives us this week. He gives us a little insight on exactly how things work, what's new, what's how they keep it fresh, because the tournament just seems to grow every year, and they're always trying to make it better. And that, I think that's one of the strengths of the tournament. And the fan support is just amazing. It's a golf event, but it's a social event for Birmingham, and maybe the social event of the summer for Birmingham. So why don't we just dive on in and our conversation with Gene Hallman on the range at the Tradition.
We got the Grand Poobah of the Ranges Tradition, Gene Hallman, with us right now. Welcome into the car barn again, Gene.
It's good to be here. You guys are getting more sophisticated every year. Cameras and big boom mics. Wow.
We try to be as professional as we possibly can for 2 rooms from North Alabama.
Well, y'all have done well. I listened to the podcast, and it's very enjoyable.
Thank you. We're soon to keep building the audience, and y'all are gracious enough to have us back. So we didn't make anybody mad last year. Didn't stamp it.
No, I heard you had the future governor on the show, which is great. Every celebrity today was in a good mood, and I think the 40-minute delay allowed them to get here, relax, and not feel so rushed. Even Kirby Smart was nice. I mean, sometimes he's grouchy. So everyone's been very gracious from a celebrity standpoint. Lots of fans here, beautiful weather. Couldn't ask for more.
Turnout looks really good.
Well, we sold out our hospitality areas for a Wednesday, which happens nowhere else on the PGA Tour. Our crowds on a Wednesday are going to be bigger than most Champions Tour events are on Saturday and Sunday. And I'm not being boastful. I'm just bragging on our community and how they turn out for this event.
Yeah, it's really interesting how Birmingham's kind of embraced this event through the years. It isn't a one and done deal. It's every year. It just seems to get better.
Well, I would say, Greg, in the last 5 years, our attendance has gone up 40 or 50%. And I attribute that to the fact that our young people who do the marketing for us know how to attract the younger demographic. And if you look around, the average age is in the 20s, low 30s. And it's because it's a party. But it's a party for kids, because kids 15 and under get in free. You see a lot of people on dates. You see grandfathers with grandsons and granddaughters. Over the years, there have been so many cool stories. This is our 34th year. There have been 2 children named after players who have come here, Seve Ballesteros and Ben Crenshaw. And both of them got to meet their namesake.
Oh, wow.
So when you have moments like that, it makes everything worthwhile. That this event is definitely making an impact on the community.
And doesn't it hurt to have a guy like Riley Green show up, who's as popular of a country artist there is in the country right now, show up on a Wednesday to play?
Well, Riley grew up coming to this tournament. Taylor Hicks grew up coming to this tournament and sneaking into the hospitality tents. Now, that's what he tells me, and I believe him. So when I first met Riley 4 or 5 years ago, he said, "Man, I've been watching you on TV my whole life." I'm like, "What?" It kind of makes you feel old, but it's like, okay, yeah, through your lens, growing up in Jacksonville, you're 12, 13 years old, you love golf. This is the golf event. So there's probably some young people in this audience here who will be a superstar in their respective field, who will come back and say, "Yeah, I came as a child."
That's a good point. Yeah.
What's new this year, and where does the tournament go to keep growing?
Well, everything's a little bit bigger this year. Like the big hospitality tent on number 10, you guys are familiar with the Crow's Nest at Waste Management out in Phoenix. This is the beginnings of that. And we sold it out every day, all 5 days. So we'll make it bigger yet again. I envision the 10th hole being completely encircled by hospitality in the next 2 or 3 years. So what started off as a modest 1/10 is now semicircle, and it'll be a complete circle before long. But to answer your question, nothing dramatically new. It's a lot of fine tuning behind the scenes. We just keep making it more accommodating for more people And fortunately, this golf course, this venue allows for that.
It sure does. It's laid out really well for what you've got around the clubhouse, especially.
Yeah, it's not a walking golf course, it's a figure eight. So people stay in this vicinity of 1, 9, 18, 10, and it's a really cool atmosphere.
Yeah.
When you kind of look at this, when you do we call it the postmortem in the business. You go back after each event and kind of dissect. What are those conversations like?
That's great question. We will do a debriefing and have a document that we put together that's 15 to 20 pages long on things that we can do better. And small thing, last night at the pairings party, our valet service wasn't equipped to handle the crowds. So you make sure that's better next year. We have a big screen on the first tee that will tell you ball speed. It's a large TrackMan, ball speed, distance, and it's in the wrong location. And the amateurs and pros aren't really watching it like I want them to because it's off to. We'll move that to where it's more into their focal point, and they then key off of it, and they get into this contest of who can drive the longest. Those are two things I can think of that can be better next year. So it's those types of details that you build on to make it better.
And those are things that people don't even notice. The general public doesn't notice that, but
Right.
people in the know
Yeah.
do. Some of the amateurs may not want to know their boss.
Well, we do it at our Champions Tour event in Des Moines, and the interesting dynamic is it's in the right location. And then when the amateurs know it's there, they come out of their shoes to hit it. And then they duff it because they're trying so hard to make sure they hit a great drive. So it's a reverse psychology sort of thing. So we'll keep fine-tuning this thing. We'll never have the perfect event. We'll chase that forever. But
It's like chasing the perfect golf game. It just never happens.
I mean, I went to the Masters this year, last 5 years. That's as close as to perfection as you can get. But even there, I can come back with 2 or 3 things they could do better.
Yeah, do you notice those things when you go to?
It drives my kids crazy. They're like, Dad, quit. If we go to a football game, any sporting event, I'm like, this cue's wrong. That sign's in the wrong spot. They're like, Dad, just enjoy it. I'm like, I can't. I'm taking notes. We got to make it better. We got a part of our business where we handle game day operations for football programs. And we do Alabama and Auburn, everything outside the stadium. And we just got the Rose Bowl contract. And that's a mess. Outside that stadium's a mess. We'll fix it over time, at least as best we can. So there's virtually no sport that I can go to as a spectator and not having done it in a professional capacity to where I can't look at it through a critical eye, which I guess is okay.
Hey, that's I would say that's I've always wondered if Nick Saban could actually watch a football game, but it's the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, you've been doing this for so long, and it's just it's just part of what you do now.
Well, and the cool thing, and I'll brag on my kids a little bit, my daughter's going to NYU in the fall to get a graduate degree in event management, and my son's at Auburn as a sophomore and going to get his degree in event management. So while they complain about my critiques, they've grown up in it, now they're going to go do it. I didn't push them that way, but it is contagious. Event management, you get it in your blood, and the rush that comes from it. And on Sunday, we've got a really cool thing planned here. I know that moment will be somewhat emotional because it's the end of the week, but 2 parachutists, Army Rangers, are going to jump out of a plane, and they're very skilled parachutists, and they're going to land right at the base of the 18th green, and one of them's going to have the trophy and walk up and present the trophy to me to hand to the champion. So that's a new element, but I can see the pageantry. They're doing it in honor of Folds of Honor. And because it's for a worthwhile cause, and tragically those 3 service people killed in the Middle East were based here, and those 2 Rangers were their compatriots. So it's going to bring it a little bit closer to home and be emotional. So you have emotional inflection points in events where you go, all right, I'm going to capture this moment and internalize it, because it's going to help get you through those long days when you're building for it. You reflect on those great moments and say, it's worth it.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's pretty cool. Thanks for sharing that one with us. That's really cool.
Well, I think, when you look back at the history of the event, was started, 34 years ago, has really turned into a source of pride, not only for Birmingham, but for the state. When you've got it's the premier event on tour. I mean, I don't think anybody would dispute that.
Now, I'm proud to say that, Greg. It is the premier event on the Champions Tour. It's been that way for most of its existence, and I just attribute to being a great market. We're a great golf state. We've had Corn Ferry events, but this is the only professional golf event we have in our state, and as a result, we do the demographics. We have quite a number of people come from North Alabama and South Alabama to the event.
Well,
It's been great, and everything that is everybody's so gracious and welcoming, and that says a lot too. If you have a bad experience coming into the tournament, it's something you're going to take with you.
Well, the old cliche of Southern hospitality is true, and the players feel it when they come from another part of the country, especially the week preceding this. They comment on it. As a matter of fact, I'll never forget, Bob Murphy told us one year, he said, look, can you have the waitresses and wait staff just dial back the hospitality a little bit? They asked me like 8 times during lunch if they could get me something. He said it with a laugh, but yeah, it's true. Southern hospitality works.
And then Greystone has been such a great partner.
Yeah, we went to Shoal Creek and Rossbridge, and they were very gracious hosts, but the demographic of this development and membership is perfect for hosting a golf tournament. The membership loves it. They have their own parties every night with the house band every night. They have signed up through 2033, and I would imagine it'd be a pretty easy conversation to extend that into the future.
Yeah, and it's not always easy in today's environment for clubs to give up their course for a week and the prep.
Yeah, and fortunately we have another golf course here at Greystone, so that helps some. But you're right, they do make a sacrifice, especially pre and post of the construction that happens, tearing all this stuff down.
Yeah, they don't just put it up on Saturday ahead of the event. It starts a couple months.
It's a process.
Now, Gene, thanks again. Thanks for having us out here. Thanks for taking a few minutes of your busy days during the tournament to stop by. We appreciate it. Thanks again.
Thank you, guys.
Maybe you'll have us back next time.
Oh, I will. I will. Absolutely.
Again, thanks a bunch to Tournament Director Gene Hallman, the Region's Tradition, for spending some time with us on the range there. Just some great stories, some great insight on how that thing it's like clockwork. They put together a great event, and they keep adding new stuff to it every year to make it fresh and better. So we appreciate Gene stopping by the range and for having us. 2 years we've been there, and they haven't said we can't come back, so we must be doing something right.
Yeah, we appreciate Gene and his entire event staff. What a great event. It is arguably the best run event on the Champions Tour, and we're honored to be able to be on the range during that event, and we look forward to doing it again next year. One quick housekeeping note. Some people have asked about subscribing on YouTube. That does not cost you anything. It's free, and it would really help us a lot with our channel if you would go to YouTube and hit the subscribe button. You don't have to fill anything out. Just hit subscribe. What will happen is every time that a video posts, whether it's a short or it's one of our long form content, you will get a notification so you know that it's up, and it would help our channel a lot. But for Greg, I'm Chris. Catch us again next week for another edition of the Cart Barn Podcast.